Hello AOS fans, 'tis I, Pete, and I've got a deck for you this week. It is my first dwarfy deck. Yes, I'm playing Thundrik's Profiteers, the Sky Dwarves. Now this is my first deck and my first set of games with them, so there might be a few questionable choices in it, but let me know what you think. Anyway, I'm going to crash on with the deck. My plans with this deck are to try and huddle up in middle field, use my ranged attacks to my advantage, and try and just pick off my opponents and just concentrate on scoring my objectives without really having to worry too much about what my opponent's doing. I'm not sure that there's many that they can stop me scoring actively here, but we shall see. So here's the deck. The first card is Change of Tactics. Well, I have the ability to put someone on guard, or I can just put someone on guard normally, so that's an instant score. Obviously I want as many instant scores as possible because Thundrik does inspire when you score objectives, so the more the better, and I do have 7 in this deck. The next one is Cover Ground. Pete, why have you taken Cover Ground? I can hear you say. They're dwarves, they don't move very fast. Haha, but I do have the upgrade in here to help me get one of my guys up to a movement of 6, and that would help me score that one. I then have Escalation because why wouldn't you, ever? And Superior Tactician because I think with all the instant scores here, that should be fairly easy to achieve. I then have Well Guarded. I am planning on sitting as many of my guys around my boss as possible, so hopefully this one it will be relatively easy to score. I then have Headshot, which is basically score a critical hit from a range 3 or more attack. Well, I'm going to be doing a lot of range 3 or more attacks. Hopefully one of them will be a crit, so Headshot, instant score, thank you very much. I then have Calculated Risk, run someone through a lethal hex and take a wound. Well, it's probably going to be Garrod. He is my chafe in this warband, so I will be sacrificing him up to get that extra glory. Depending on how it goes, I could then inspire him and he'll get that wound back. Fired up next because with 7 instant score objectives, I should be able to get a lot of my guys inspired and score that one. And then get the hints. I've got a few knockback options in here. Some are built into people and some are upgrades, so hopefully that should be achievable. And then keep chopping. Whilst I don't have the movement, I do have the attack range, so I'm hoping that my charges means I should be able to get 4 attacks in a round and score Keep Chopping. Peerless Fighter next. Now I am rolling a lot of dice with a lot of my people. Granted they're swords, but that doesn't matter when you want crits. So I'm hoping if I can get some 5, 6 or 7 dice roll attacks off with some rerolls, that should be scoreable. 2 glory instant, thank you very much. And the last one is Wad Armour. I've got a few inbuilt cleaves and a few cleave upgrades going on here, so I'm hoping that that one should be fairly achievable as well. So there we go, 7 instant score, 4 end of turn score, and 1 third round score with Superior Tactician. I think this is going to be a deck that's going to help me rocket forwards quickly, or at least I hope so anyway. So here are my Gambits to help me score that glorious glory from those objectives. I have Distraction. Now this one I think I'm taking as a defensive ploy, so if I come up against any warband who are looking to grab objectives, I can use this to distract them off. I've had that played against me in the past and it can be painful. Or I might use it to maybe distract someone into a lethal hex, one of the ones surrounding Thundrik perhaps. Or maybe I'll use Distraction to, I don't know, shove someone a bit closer to me if I want to get a few more range shots off, or shove someone further away if I feel that they're coming in for a charge and I can prevent that. I've then got Fueled by Fury. Being able to reroll all my attack dice if I need to should help me score Peerless Fighter. Hidden Paths next because depending on the boards, if I end up having to set up one person up further back, I can use Hidden Paths to jumpity jump them up forwards. I then have Improvisation. I'm hoping that I can burn through a lot of my Gambits and with all my instant score objectives, a lot of my upgrades quickly so I can clear my hand out and then use Improvisation to redraw a load of cards early on if possible. I then have the ubiquitous, always taken, often imitated but never beaten, Ready for Action! Honestly, I think this is going to end up on the banned list soon because it's just a must-have in every deck, but it does have a lot of criteria around using it, so it does self-limit itself quite nicely. I'm taking that obviously for the extra attack, well, almost definitely for the extra attack, but possibly a move depending on the situation. Etheric Augmentation next. I do like the quote for this one. Boom! The first attack action can be made by friendly fire, has +1 dice, and the extra dice to roll increases my chances of Peerless Fighter. Ambitious Attack next, +1 damage with a range 1 or 2 attack. Well, I am going to charge in close and go toe to toe. I might as well increase my damage on that one. Prepared Position, choose a friendly fighter and put them on guard. Well, that'll help me for change of tactics and generally increase my survivability. Protect the Boss next, choose a friendly fighter and push them up to 2 hexes. This is handy because somebody can make a move and then I can use this to reposition them, or I could maybe charge forwards and then use this to move them back again afterwards. Seek the Sky Vessel, choose up to 2 friendly fighters and make move actions with them. Well, again, I can use this a bit like Protect the Boss. I can either make a charge with them and then I can use this to move them back, or maybe I can move them up and then use this to move them again to get them right into position. And then toxic gases. Wife's not fond of this, but I love it. I think it could be a very handy card for screwing with your opponent, especially if they're an objective grabbing warband. You can pick somebody, they either have to take a wound, which nobody ever wants their guys to do, or I can push that fighter up to 2 hexes. 2 hexes could be very handy to mess with people. I could shove them forwards into my gun line, maybe up close for toe to toe with someone so they can get smashed, or just further away so that they can't get anywhere near the objective they were going for possibly. Or if they're just charging headlong into my lines, I can use this to just shove them quite a way away again. Toxic gases really does have the potential to really mess with a lot of people, so I like this card. I know some other people have said, yeah, they'll just pick the least problematic one for them, but if you can play this right, either one's going to be a problem for them, especially that one wound on somebody just before you're going to get an attack in. Winner for me. You could also possibly use it to push them 2 hexes into a lethal hex, so whichever way you play it, they're still taking a wound. I'm liking this card a lot. I can see a lot of potential for it. So those are my gambits to help me score the glorious glory from those objectives, but what am I going to spend it on? Well, these are my upgrades. Cursed Artifact, yes, it's -1 wound, but +1 defense. Almost definitely going to put this on Thundrik, so he'll be on 4 wounds once he's inspired, rolling 3 shields. I like them odds. Light armor next. Roll an extra dice, but no crits on defense. Well, this is probably going to go on Iron Hail because he rolls 4 dice when inspired. That'll be 5 dice. If I can get something else off on him, that could possibly be 6 or 7 dice. He is my one and only chance for Peerless Fighter, I think, or at least my best chance. And then total offense, we can roll 2 additional attack dice when this fighter makes an attack action, although not when the fighter makes a charge. If you do so, they cannot be activated again this phase. Well, again, that with light armor on Iron Hail, he'll be rolling 6 dice. Ancestral Fortitude next, +1 wound, probably use that to offset Cursed Artifact. Augmented Buoyancy, Track Skewer. You're taking that one, it's +2 move. That makes him a 6 move model. That's pretty fast for dwarves and does help me with cover ground. Paymaster next. Anybody standing next to Thundrik gets to reroll 1 of their dice. Well, that could be very handy indeed with a lot of my guys all standing, crowding around the main man, getting to reroll attack dice left, right and centre. And then Rapid Reload. This one on Iron Hail, along with total offense and light armour, could mean that he could get to attack twice around with 6 dice. That could be very handy. Fameway Crystal next. The ability to jump forwards onto an objective could be very handy to screw up my opponent's plans, or just to get someone into position early. Great Strength, that +1 damage is always welcome. And Mutating Maul. Whilst this isn't really improving on most of my guys' damage, it does give me another cleave or knockback option, which could be very handy if I've got Watt Armour or get the Hens hanging around. And the last one is Potion of Rage. +2 dice for my next attack. Thank you very much. I will take that one. That on Iron Hail with light armour and total offense, he could be rolling 9 dice. 9 dice, that's just stupid. And if I've got Fueled by Fury there as well, that's a re-roll. That almost guarantees me Peerless Fighter, right? That's how odds work here. So those are my cards. I'm pretty happy with this deck overall. I'm not sure if there's anything I can instantly identify as something I'd want to take out. I might possibly put, ironically, Longstrider in here, because with Seek the Sky Vessel I can get 2 moves out of one of my guys, but I'm just not 100% sure which card I get rid of to do that. I'm going to and ah about it a bit more. If I do remove that card and replace it with Longstrider, then I will obviously have to let you guys know in the main battle report. But let me know in the comments below if you would take Longstrider over one of the other objectives, and if so, which one would you take? I'm thinking maybe Cover Ground, because I can score Longstrider much easier. Cover Ground, I have to rely on my dwarfy bloke having his upgrade. I can't decide. We shall see. I do still have to rely on having that ploy come out to be able to score Longstrider, so it does feel like a little bit of a coin toss for me. I'll see how I go. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this deck. Is there anything you would definitely not take, anything you would remove, or anything you would replace, or anything that I've taken that you just think is the worst idea in the world, or any obvious picks that I've missed? I shall see you soon in the Mirrored City. Bye!